Hi everyone. So it's already 6 p.m., so we're going to go ahead and get started. So I hope that everybody has enjoyed their Thanksgiving break. So welcome, and my name is Valerie, and I am the secretary for HCASF. And today I'll be introducing the presentation, which will be on LinkedIn, and it will be led by Matthew Gonzalez from the Career Development Center. So thank you, Matthew, for being here. So first, starting off with just a couple of reminders. So first, please make sure that you sign in on the sign-in sheet. It's already down below in the chat box. But if you missed it, we will be pasting it down below in a little bit. And the second reminder is that we will be having our first in-person meeting or event. It will be a coffee social, which will be this Friday, December 2nd at 6 p.m. It's going to take place at the USU in room 304. And we're going to be having coffee bean for the drinks. And it's a great opportunity to chat with the HCA advisory board as well as network. And if you are interested in attending, then please make sure to fill in the RSVP form, which can be found in our link tree, which you can find using the QR code that I've provided here. And then our third reminder is about membership dues. So for HCASF, it will be 10 per semester or 20 for the entire year. And then for UPD, it'll be 10 for the semester or 20 for lifetime membership. And the final reminder is to drop your LinkedIn profile in our Discord server. So we do have a specific channel labeled LinkedIn, and we can go ahead and drop the links for our profile so we can go ahead and connect and network with each other. And that pretty much wraps it up for me. So Matthew, if you're ready, we can go ahead and get started.
Cool. All right, so let me turn on my camera. Oops. Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. How y'all doing?
Good. How about yourself, Matthew?
Good. Okay, cool. It's kind of different, right? Because we're virtual. But I was keeping an eye on the chat for a bit. But thank you. Thank you, everyone. Again, my name is Matthew Gonzalez. I'm one of the career counselors at the Career Development Center. And today we're gonna get to chat about LinkedIn. And this is a topic I love presenting on. I'm kind of like one of the main counselors who does this presentation. So, hopefully everyone here has a pen or Word document and is ready to take a bunch of notes, okay? So let me go ahead and pull up my PowerPoint. Let's see, this one. Okay. All right, let me make this bigger. Okay, I'm gonna open the chat and I'm gonna keep an eye on it. So if anyone has any questions throughout the presentation, you could just drop it in the chat and I'm gonna pause and answer your questions, okay? But real quick, in the chat, when you think about this presentation, like what do you specifically want to get out of it? Like what are kind of like concerns or things that you've been thinking about when it comes to LinkedIn? All right, and I'll give you all a few seconds to type up a response. All right, what to put in your profile because I have no experience, but perfect. Making sure it's professional. I'm interested in how to connect to people effectively. Okay, how to expand my network in healthcare. Okay, cool. Workshop certificates. Okay. How to make my LinkedIn account stand out. Perfect. Cool. All right. Cool. Now, understanding the basics. Perfect. All right, cool. So overall, this is going to be more of a basics presentation. But even if you've been having a LinkedIn profile and it's pretty up to date, there's definitely going to be a few things that you'll still learn to maximize it and make it stand out a bit more. Okay. Now, real quick, using your thumbs up function or the hands up, how many of you have a LinkedIn profile? So I'm looking at the participant list. Oh, cool, cool. We got like, wow. Oh, it's like almost everyone. All right, cool. So literally like I think 70 to 80% of you have a LinkedIn profile. So this is great. So let's go ahead and kind of dive into LinkedIn. And we'll chat first about, you know, the main like what do you think the main purpose of, or actually, let me go back. What do you think the main purpose of LinkedIn is? Like, what do y'all think? Like, what's the main purpose? Okay, network. All right. What else? Professional social media. Okay. Let's see. Getting hired. All right. All right, cool. So everyone's correct. No one really gets this wrong. There's like LinkedIn serves multiple functions, but mainly it is the largest professional networking site out there. Okay, like the largest professional social media platform, and this is something that's used throughout different fields, different industries across thousands of professionals around the whole world. Okay. And so that's one of the biggest thing is that networking piece and connecting with professionals. But as part of that, a lot of professionals and employers, they go on LinkedIn so that they could recruit for a lot of talented professionals out there, okay, or people who are about to graduate or currently in school, and so there's a lot of internship and employment opportunities on here. And not only like how do you say it, it's not only for entry level jobs, but even for folks who are looking, who's been working for a while and they're looking to for more of a leadership role. And so no matter where you're at in your career, LinkedIn is always going to be something that's highly relevant for everyone. All right, so the other thing that makes LinkedIn so valuable, it's pretty much an online resume. All right. And so, when really taking the time to, really enhance your profile and make it stand out, that's going to make all the difference. Okay. And so we're going to be talking about how you can make that profile stand out. All right. So I'm just keeping track of the chat. Okay, cool. We look good so far. Okay. And so it looks like everyone here for the most part has a profile. But for those of you that hasn't created one, you can just go to the LinkedIn website and then you'll just join and create an account. And it's pretty quick, like in any other app or social media. You just follow the steps and you'll have one right away. And once you're on there. For those of you that's still kind of new to LinkedIn, you're gonna have a homepage. This is where everyone's posting, or like where you'll find what people are sharing, whether there's articles, whether there's like a link of some sort, or it might be like a photo, whatever it might be. This is kind of where you will see what everyone's sharing. Okay, and then you have your network, my network area. This is kind of like where you accept or decline friend requests, kind of, but it's not, I mean, in this case, professional networks, if you accept or decline connecting with people. All right. And so that's where you will monitor that. And then the jobs is just the job board. Highly encourage all of you to check out the job board. They have very unique features that not a lot of job boards have. And there are like thousands of jobs posted on LinkedIn. Like you'll be surprised how many job opportunities you'll find. Um, and then messages, straight and simple. This is where you could monitor, messages you're receiving. If you reached out to an employer to network with them, this is where you can see where, the responses and so forth. One thing I will say is don't be surprised if professionals reach out to you and message you for like an opportunity that they would encourage you to apply for. And so that happens to for some folks. And so if you really maximize your profile and you try your best to tailor your information on your profile to match the field that you're interested in. What LinkedIn has some sort of like algorithm of some sort where um you're at the employer's end, the employers who are using LinkedIn, you're gonna pop up in their feed as suggested or recommended, people for them based on the keywords and everything. Like so, it's kind of showing them who would be a good match. So this is why it's really valuable that you really spend the time to, again, tailor your profile. And like and some of you like mentioned, right, you might not have much experience, so we'll talk about what you could add, because LinkedIn, there's just so many different categories or sections that you could include, and so forth. Okay. All right, cool. last but not least is the notifications. Unfortunately, this area really blows up. You kind of get notified about a lot of random stuff. Like let's say someone's has their work anniversary, you'll get notified about that. I mean, which is good, right? Because you can congratulate them. But then you kind of get notified by a lot of things. Like every time I check LinkedIn, my notifications like 100 something, which isn't good. But then I don't check it too often. Which I don't encourage. I should probably check it more often. But yeah, so just but once you click on the notifications, it will clear kind of all of that. So yeah, so as long as you checked it kind of often and keep clicking on that, it won't get overwhelming, like kind of in my case. All right, cool. So those are the main features of LinkedIn. Um, so hopefully you're not all overwhelmed right now. So it's not too bad. It just seems like a lot, but those are just kind of the main features of LinkedIn. And so what we're gonna go over now, um, pretty much are the LinkedIn basics for your profile. But so far everyone's good. Can I get a thumbs up? Or if you have any questions, you could bring it up in the chat. Cool. I'm getting a few thumbs up. All right, sweet. All right, cool, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into how you could really maximize your profile. And the more we get into it, you're gonna see why it's so valuable. What makes LinkedIn so valuable? Because it allows you to advertise your way, much more than other areas. Okay, like more than a resume, more than like just different. And I just kind of walk you through it, but LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to really show samples of your work and just different things that could really paint a big picture of what you have to bring to the table for employers. All right, so with that said, let's dive into it. All right, so we're gonna go over the basics. You're gonna have your name on there, right? You need a photo. We're gonna talk more about photos in a bit. Uh, this is just know this is where the headline is gonna be. Mine looks different since I'm employed right now. I'm not looking for a job, but you wanna adjust the headline to fit whatever it is. Your whatever your goal is. Whether you're looking for a job, whether you're just there to network, you could adjust your headline to fit that goal. The location, I kept mine really broad. And then the summary or the about section that's really important. It's kind of like a cover letter to your resume. It's kind of like a cover letter to your profile, and so it introduces your whole page and what you're about. And so we'll chat more about that. But those key things right here are really important. It's the first things that employers will look at before they really dive into your experience or the other sections that you have. Okay, all right, cool. So let's go ahead and take it step by step. All right, so for the professional photo, you want a really good headshot. Like for example, how do y'all feel about the first photo? So in the chat, how kind of vibe are you getting for the first photo right here? Let's see. Scary. Okay. No smile. It's kind of funny. Okay. Unwelcoming. All right. I don't want to hire this guy. This is funny. It went from like, it got really serious real quick. That's funny. All right. Cool, cool, cool. And thanks for being honest. I love it. All right. Anyone else? All right. Cool. All right. So some people, I've had students in the past, they're like, well, it depends. What if it's like for they want to become like they're like a film major who wants to go into like you know uh just like a scary genre or something, right? Like so it might work for certain areas, but I like to play it safe. Overall you do want more of a friendly, welcoming, warm smile, really good headshot. So like the middle one's really it's pretty good. One thing I will say though is you don't want a photo that could look cropped. I'm not sure if the middle one is cropped or not, or like in terms of like cropping people out. So you don't want like a group photo and you look good in it, and so you're gonna just like zoom it in, crop everyone out. So you want a really good headshot, and so it could just be with your phone. You don't need like a professional camera or anything. And so you could give your phone to somebody, a friend, a classmate, family member, and just have them take a headshot, which is anywhere between pretty much your chest over your head. um just have a good smile. Okay. Dress professionally if you can, right? You do want to look professional on that photo. Now the last photo, some of you might be confused, but I have this on here because there are people who use Facebook, and they have wallpapers or like kind of like just background photos as their profile photo, and so this some people might do the same for LinkedIn, and so I just want to let everyone know, you do want an actual headshot. If not a headshot, you could actually do an action shot, and what an action shot is, it's pretty much like you doing something in your field. So for example, I've seen like engineering students wearing a helmet, having their vest on, and kind of just a solo picture of them doing like creating something. That could work, okay? Or I've seen people who are scientists who have their white coat on, they have goggles, and they're just kind of smiling towards the camera in front of a lab table, so that could work too, okay? So yeah, but to be safe, no matter what, you could just have a professional headshot, okay? All right, cool. Does the campus offer headshots by any chance? That's actually a good question. I'm not sure. Yeah, but I mean, again, you can just have someone take the photo of you. Um, yeah, but I don't think there's like a spot on campus that just takes photos of for people unless it's like the ID center, but yeah, I don't think so. Like I don't think there's like a place that does LinkedIn headshot photos, if that makes sense. I know in the past the career center, like for certain events, like they like what as we would have like a stand just as one of the things to be like a LinkedIn headshot. But then that's not something we just offer nonstop. It's kind of like depending on the person hosting the event, that's an idea that I know people have put into practice before. Um, I wish there was though, but yeah, sorry about that. Cool. Any other questions? And again, you don't have to overdo it. Most of my headshots for my work, for my LinkedIn profile, it was just literally on my phone. All right, cool, cool. All right, so let's move forward. Okay, so now the informative headline again. This is kind of what goes underneath, um, what you see under your photo. Let me go back so I could just kind of show you all real quick. Right here, my name, then underneath is the informative headline. And so for most cases for students right now, current students or graduating students, there's just three things you need to hit on. You have to let them know kind of who you are. So psychology graduate, child development major, communications major, creative graphic designer. So again, kind of mention who you are. You want to mention like a qualification or a skill set or an area of specialty that you feel like is most valuable for your targeted audience. And then at the same time, you want to mention what you're looking for. All right. And so here we have psychology graduate specializing in survey design, interested in market research and analysis. Another example would be child development major, passionate about supporting families with children with disabilities, seeking full-time behavioral interventionist opportunities. Okay, and then let me just read the last one. Creative graphic designer with expertise in website development, Photoshop, and InDesign. All right, cool. So for this person, they might not be looking for a job. All right, cool, cool. So there you go. That's an informative, headline. Um, and one thing I will say, just so you all know, I'm gonna attach a PDF copy of this presentation at the very end, and so you don't have to kind of write down the examples. Okay, you'll have it with you. The great thing too is that there's so many professionals active on LinkedIn. So if there's like a profession or a job you eventually want, you could easily put that job title in the search, and you could search people under people because you could search by people, by groups, by jobs, so you can search by people. And by doing that, you're going to be able to look at actual professionals' profiles and see a bunch of different examples. Like for my LinkedIn profile, when I worked on it, I was looking at a bunch of different career counselors' profiles, and I was looking at the keywords they're using, and just kind of the way they worded things, and I kind of went off of that, So you're not going to run out of examples, so it's not going to be too challenging. All right, cool. Especially for the about section, that's definitely the area that I had to um you know look at, because I feel like this is the area that's kind of a bit more challenging. You really have to brainstorm and create a well thought out about section. But again, it's kind of like a cover letter. So for this, you just want to kind of summarize or list, your goals, your qualifications. And when I say qualifications, you want to just highlight specific experiences or skill sets or special like areas of specialty that you feel like is most important for your field. You don't want to really mention everything you've done or like just random stuff, and so you really want to brainstorm what might make sense again for your targeted audience. But the one of the biggest takeaways here is make sure it's easy to read. I've seen a few about sections that have one huge paragraph, instead of like chunks. So you do want to kind of have short blocks of text. Okay. Um, that way it's not like too overwhelming. All right, so I'm gonna read you what I have on my profile right here. And again, my targeted audience is career services. Okay, so you're gonna see things like ESFJ, strengths, and all that you might not have on your profile, but these are common things in my field. Okay, but so what I have here is enthusiastic, student-centered career counselor who is determined to evoke impactful change in the career development of students by serving as an ally and resource throughout the career development process. My education and experiences working at institutions of higher education has provided me with valuable knowledge to work effectively with diverse populations of students. I probably should have had like the sentence is way too long. That should have been a separate sentence, but I'll just keep going. In identifying their career goals while preparing them in the process of obtaining career opportunities that are pertinent to their interests, values, personalities, and skills. With over 4 years of experience working within career services, I have expanded my knowledge and skill set in career counseling, advising, program development, leadership assessment, and evaluation. All right, cool. This sounds like a mouthful. But these are specific skill sets in my field that are highly wanted, like programming, assessment, evaluation, right? Counseling, advising. And those are kind of areas, skills or qualifications that I do bring to the table. And that's why I kind of mentioned them. And so, yeah, you do, again, think about keywords or buzzwords in your area, and you can easily figure that out by looking at people's profiles. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go over another example here. And I'm just moving things that are blocking my screen. Give me one moment. Let me see. I'm just going to have to move that around. Excuse me. All right. So there's this other one we made up. I am a communications major with an emphasis in interpersonal and organizational communication. As a student leader in the Communication Students Association, I have collaborated with faculty, employers, and students to create professional development activities for CSULB students. With an emphasis in interpersonal and organizational communications, I have interned in the Human Resource Department and have had experience in the recruiting, interviewing, selecting, and onboarding process of new employees. I have experience with utilizing social media as a recruiting tool, maintaining candidate information with Excel, and have utilized my Spanish speaking skills with potential employees. And I will be graduating May 2020, and I'm looking for entry-level human resources position that can build on my educational background and internship experiences. All right, cool. So I just wanted to give you kind of a more like as example, an example from like an undergraduate student. So yeah, so hopefully that helps. I have one more example. If anyone's I could use a break from reading. If anyone's willing to unmute and read this to everyone, that would be awesome. And anyone could just kind of go for it. Cool. Any volunteers? If you want, you can raise your hand first, and then I'll read your name out loud. Go,
I'll go
anyone?
ahead and read it.
All right, cool. Thank you.
So it's gonna be just the description, right? Or the
Just this part right here. Yeah.
yeah. So driven, humble, and persistent are perhaps the three words I would use to summarize myself. These words are my values, they're my motivation. My motivators, the guiding lights, if you will, that have influenced my drive for success as a student and a burgeoning business professional. Within my modest 5 years as a liberal arts and business student at California State University, Long Beach, I have had the wonderful opportunity to work for 3 successful Fortune 500 companies. I have amassed a range of experiences spanning from customer service, marketing, management, and human resources. Each experience has not only given me a varying degree of perspective, but it has honed my business acumen to become a more well-rounded and insightful businesswoman. If there is one thing that I would like for you to get from my profile, it is that I am an achiever.
Perfect. Thank you for reading that. Cool. So how do y'all feel about that? About this profile? Or the about, sorry, the about section. All right. What do y'all feel about that in the chat? Very impressive. Okay. Let's see. Anyone else? I want to get on her level. That's funny, Eric. Okay. A lot of energy. So you can kind of see the personality, right? Again, you can make it unique. You can make it, make it fun but professional, right? She's still, you can see her personality a bit, but at the same time, she found a creative way to really integrate her personality with kind of what she's accomplished, and so, not everyone's strong writers, right? I get that, but just do your best. Get a lot of ideas again from different profiles that you see, and you could find creative ways to kind of really market yourself. See, for her, when I read something like this, I could look at her and be like, oh yeah, I got this job opportunity. She'd be a really good fit, or I could be like, oh, she'll be fun. She'll be someone really cool to network with, and so it could kind of it kind of tailors towards different audiences. All right, cool. So there you have it. Okay, now for the for the experience section, this is because students, they ask me like, hey man, can I just copy and paste my experience for my resume? You can do that, that's fine. But one thing I will say, both on both of your resume and your experience section on your LinkedIn profile, you do want to elaborate and give enough details. Most people, they'll kind of just list things without really backing it up. So for example, like, people might write perform excellent customer service, period. That's not really showing anything or saying much. It's just saying I did this. Instead, what you could say is something like perform excellent customer service by assisting customers in a friendly and respectful manner. In that case, you're really showing how you demonstrated customer service, right? Um, so I'll give you another example. There are different ways to show. Another way to show is to demonstrate a result, or an accomplishment. So you could say perform excellent customer service, which resulted in a 15% increase in sales. You see? Okay, so let me give you an example of an accomplishment. You could say perform excellent customer service, which led to Employee of the Month award 3 consecutive times. All right. So let me give another one last way to show is to demonstrate a purpose. And so, for example, you wouldn't just say tutor high school students, but you can say tutored for graduating seniors on English and mathematics to help increase academic performance. You see, you bring up a purpose. Okay. All right, cool. So just make sure you elaborate enough when it comes to your experience section. And also you want to use keywords or action verbs that again are relevant to your field, like what they have here: analyze, conduct, create, right? So think about action-oriented words or keywords that really do matter. All right. So the great thing about LinkedIn is you could attach samples of your work on your experience section. This is what I was talking about earlier, about how, it's all encompassing. LinkedIn, there's just so much you could attach and include that could really paint the big picture of what you bring to the table. All right. And so yeah, so kind of just you can kind of include information that you want to use to back up what you bring. Education section of LinkedIn. Real quick, any questions so far? Or can I get a thumbs up if everyone's still good? I tend to go over a lot of details, so if there's no questions, that's completely fine. Cool. Thank you, everyone. All right, cool. education section for LinkedIn is simple. Just follow the fill-ins. If you go to the education section, it's gonna ask what the name of the university is, the degree you're getting, the time frame, right? And so you just have to fill it out. So it's really straightforward. If you anyone here graduated from a community college? How about anyone transferred from a community college? All right, so a few of you. So it's up to you if you want to include your community college information or not. I would just include it, to be honest with you. That way they could kind of see. I'll get students who's like, hey, Matt, what if there's like a big gap and I don't want to show them like, I've been in school for a while. I'm like, hey, include what you're comfortable with. If you just want to include the bachelor's degree that you're getting now, that's completely fine. You know, you make you could do whatever it is you want on your profile, uh however you said how you see fit, if that makes sense. Kind of like a resume, include what you feel comfortable including. Again, this is your profile and you have that control. And don't make stuff up though, okay? That's not what I'm trying to say. You don't want to lie on your resume or LinkedIn profile. You want to only include very accurate and valid information. Okay. Now, one of the things that make LinkedIn also like very valuable for job seekers or people who want to network is that you could add skills on your profile, and the skills you include, people could actually go on your profile, see those skills, and they could endorse you. And what endorsement means is that they're kind of vouching that you do demonstrate that quality. Okay, so first and foremost, you want to add skills that are relevant in your field. Like for me, I put career counseling, I put student affairs, I put student development, higher education, you see that. And so those are very specific keywords in my area. Excuse me. And then you can see I have 21 people who's endorsed me for career counseling, 15 for higher ed, and so forth. And so those endorsements, again, like this person right here, Emmanuel, he was the previous director of the Career Center. And so when you think about it, right, if you're applying for other jobs and career services, there's going to be other directors who might recognize Manuel. And so this is what makes LinkedIn valuable, is because there's people going to have mutual connections, and when they see people endorsing you and whatnot, it adds credibility, especially this also. So yeah, so just something really unique that LinkedIn offers. All right, cool. So that's, and then, oh yeah, before I forget, LinkedIn is kind of like a give or take, sorry, give and take. And so what I typically do to get endorsement is I will endorse a bunch of people, and then hopefully they'll endorse me back, and I'll endorse them for a lot of skills. But again, I would only endorse them for things that I know for a fact that they're really solid at. Okay, so you don't just want to endorse people for skills that you don't even know that they have. Okay, so yeah, so just keep that in mind. All right, so another cool feature of LinkedIn is people could write recommendations on your profile. This is huge. Okay, um, so yeah, so it's just big, right? When people write positive things about you that might have worked with you, maybe it was a classmate who did a group project with you, maybe it's your professor, maybe it's your supervisor or coworker, right? Whoever it might be, when people are able to write a short paragraph, that really kind of vouches that kind of adds credibility to what you have to an offer to for any company, that could really make a difference. And so again, LinkedIn's like give and take. So I've given 8 recommendations and I received 7. Not bad. Okay. So I have 7 recommendations on my profile. Okay. And so that says a lot. And so yeah, so and you could do, it's simple. You could just ask for people for recommendations too. Like right here, if you press the plus sign, you could literally ask for recommendation right here, and then you could select someone, and from there you have to just choose what your relationship was with that person, your position at the time, and you could leave a very simple message. So here, Michelle's my coworker, she's another fellow career counselor, and so I put here, hey Michelle, I'm hoping to boost my profile with some professional recommendations from those that I work closely with and know my work. Would you be open to writing a recommendation for me? If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you in advance for your help. So yeah, typically what people end up doing is they'll write a recommendation for me. They'll have me review it, and I might kind of be like, hey, would you mind including this and that? So it's okay. if you want to offer, if they let you offer like feedback, obviously, like if it's like a professor supervisor, you might just take whatever they give you, right? But if it's like a friend or coworker, I might be like, hey, you mind like touching on this, you know? So yeah, so again, you're kind of helping, they're kind of helping you out. Would it be appropriate to ask your mentor to write? Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely ask the mentor. Some of my recommendations on my profile are from my mentors, because they really got to observe your work. Oh, well, actually, my mentors were work related mentors. So when I was like an intern as a grad student, the career counselors that mentored me as a graduate intern for the career center, they wrote me one. But again, it's kind of within career services, and they got to really oversee my work. But to be honest, if someone could write you anything positive, I don't think that could hurt. It's not like it just has to be like a professional you work with. So yeah, I don't see anything against it. It's just someone putting in a good word for you. Yeah. So now that I'm thinking about it more, I feel like it's completely fine. Okay. All right, cool. All right. So any other questions? All right. Okay, let's move forward. Wait, did I skip a slide? No, I did not. All right, cool. So I'm not gonna go over all of these sections right here because there's just, again, LinkedIn just has a bunch of different sections or categories that you could include. So you could include whatever it is you're comfortable with. Okay, like for me, I have test scores for certain stuff, but it's not like I'm including them on my profile. I rather focus on projects. Maybe certain courses I would take. If you conducted research and you have publications, I honestly think you should put that on there. Stuff like that. I also include languages that I speak if I was part of any organization. So everyone here, you could have that. You could include your involvement with your organizations right now that you're in. So stuff like that. Honors and awards. If you've been on the dean's list, the president's list, for those of you who are maintaining a very high GPA, keep in mind that when you graduate, you could graduate with honors. Okay, so summa cum laude, magna cum laude, right? Those are all honors. If you graduate with any of that, once you graduate, you could put it on your profile, and that's gonna really stand out. Okay. All right. Cool. It's funny. I said I wasn't gonna cover any of it, but I think I went over everyone. All right. So okay. So other than that, that's pretty much how you maximize your profile. As long as you, really invest the time to really put things together. You could have a really good a profile that'll make you stand out. Oh yeah, one thing before I forget, the project section. Everyone here for sure has done projects. All right. And you've probably done group work. And so one thing I found out about LinkedIn is that if you have a coworker or a classmate who did a project with you, you could encourage them, hey, you should write that project on your profile. And once they do, make sure they tag you in it because you were a group member. And once they do that, it automatically shows up on your profile. So you don't have to put in the work. And so yeah, so excuse me. So yeah, so just so you know, if someone writes a project and they include you as a team member, it'll automatically be in your project section on your profile. And that's how I have some of my projects on there. Thankfully for my coworker who put it in, and she wrote it really well and attached examples, so it's kind of nice. All right, cool. Other than that, one thing I want to touch on real quick, one of networking wise, follow groups, connect with employers, dream companies you want to be a part of, or just again, just any organization or even professional associations, not just employers you want to work with, but professional associations. So there's LinkedIn is so huge that I could tell you right now, any group or organization, they're going to be active on here. And so find them, connect with them, join them. I don't believe there's charge. There shouldn't be. I'm not sure if LinkedIn has changed, and some companies might charge folks, but I doubt it. And so yeah, so just join, request to join. And so on the pages of these groups, it's gonna be a lot of valuable content that could be important for you. So they'll often post like mixers. So you could go to an event, a network with people. They might post conferences that you could attend. They might post like articles so you could keep up with trends, which is really important, especially for an interview. You know, excuse me, they might post job postings, right? And so that's what makes it really valuable. And you can respond to people's comments and postings. Obviously, keep it professional. You might just say something simple like, "Oh, hey, thank you for sharing this article. You know, I agree that this is, this software is very important, for right now in the field, or so just you could have a conversation. You could just like it, right? So yeah, so just you could network, you could message people directly and network with them, and so forth. And so yeah, that's what's really good about following groups. All right, this is what the job board looks like. Okay, it's really cool. They have a lot of features that you could use. Um, you know, and so if you notice here, just for human resources alone, there's 369,000 results. Okay, that's a lot. It's like there's so many jobs on LinkedIn. All right, so you want to use keywords. If it's that, and that's too much. Like there's no way anyone could get through all of that. So you want to add more filters. Okay, and so just mess around with the filters, however you see fit, so that you can continue to narrow things down. Um, but they have like really unique filters. Like for example, you could search by mutual connections, and so you might be able to find a job where somebody that works for that company, and maybe on the side you could message them, be like, hey, I saw this posting. I noticed you're working for the company. Can you tell me more about it? And then hopefully they'll put in a good word for you when you apply. So stuff like that, really cool stuff. um cool, we got through it. Oh my gosh. And with some time to spare. And so yeah, real quick, I just want to say we have drop-in services throughout the whole year, except for like holidays like Christmas, right? Because whenever the campus is closed, we're also closed. But other than that, if you ever want your resume reviewed, your cover letter reviewed, or even your profile photo, your LinkedIn profile, seen by someone, I highly encourage you guys to go to drop-in. We are available virtually and in person. I believe for winter break though, it's only going to be virtual. And so to access drop-in, you have to go through CareerLink. And to get through CareerLink, you just have to go through your single sign-on or your My Apps. It's going to be one of the chicklets there. It'll look something like this. And once you get to CareerLink, you just have to go to resources, and then you'll find a live Zoom link, okay, to access our drop-in session from 12 to 3, okay, Monday to Friday. Other than that, we have a bunch of webinars. Like we just yeah, we have a lot of webinars, LinkedIn, resume writing, cover letter writing, job search, internship search, stuff like that, salary negotiation. So there's a lot of good topics. So I highly encourage all of you, to attend our webinars. We're gonna have them throughout the whole academic year. We're gonna have a few in winter, definitely a bunch in spring, right? And so yeah, just take advantage of that. Other than that, that's pretty much it. This is kind of just our info. So I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'm gonna drop a PDF copy of my presentation, okay, in the chat, so that you could all download it. So give me all a second. And while I'm doing that, if anyone has any questions, this would be perfect time to ask, since we left a lot of time in the end. So let me grab this. Yep, that's the one. Drop. It's sending. All right, cool. It says it was sent successfully. And so hopefully you're all able to download it. All right, so if you are in an organization and have a board member, would you list it twice under organization, once with your position and just a member, and another time with your position as a board member? Yeah. So yeah, that's actually a really good question, because in a resume, what I do is just have the name of the organization, and then I have like the more recent title with what I've done, and right underneath that I have the other title and what I've done. But with LinkedIn, I've actually haven't experimented on it. I'm not sure if you could list two roles in one organization. If you can't, then yes, you're gonna have to relist the organization with one title, and then the same organization with the other title. You're welcome. You're welcome. I appreciate that. Cool. Any other questions? And sometimes people have a hard time downloading it. So Valerie, I'm hoping you're able to download it. Maybe you could email it out to folks too. All right, cool, cool. All right, any other questions? If not, we could end early. That's pretty much it. Awesome.